You've seen it 1,000 times. You go to the Google homepage, and the logo we all know has changed. It's become a piece of art, maybe an animated game, or a tribute to someone incredible. It feels so spontaneous, right? Like a little daily surprise. But what's actually going on behind these transformations? Well, that's what we're going to dive into. Okay, let's start with a little riddle. What could chilaquiles, those amazing Mexican breakfast nachos, the super cute, always smiling axolotl salamander, and a simple bowl of popcorn possibly have in common? I mean, they sound totally random, don't they? The answer, of course, is that every single one of them has been celebrated as a Google Doodle. Yep, those unique artistic twists on the Google logo that show up on pretty much the most visited webpage on the entire planet. And these are so much more than just pretty drawings. They're often deeply personal. Just listen to what Chava Oropesa, the guest artist who created the Chilaquiles doodle, had to say about it. Being Mexican born and raised, our food feels like a part of my DNA. Being able to represent and create around the subject was very personal and special. That's the kind of heart and passion that's fueling these things. But to really get what doodles are all about, we have to go back to the very beginning. And trust me, the origin story is, well, it's pretty weird. It all kicked off with what was basically an out-of-office message. Picture this, it's 1998. Google's co-founders, Larry Page and Sergey Brin, decide they want to head out to the Burning Man festival in the desert. So, to let the few users they had know they'd be away from the office, they just took the little stick figure logo from the festival and stuck it behind the second O in the Google logo. And that was it. That was the first doodle. It was basically a joke, a little wear out, be back later sign. Okay, but here is the truly wild part. That first doodle went live on August 30th, 1998. Google, the company, it wasn't officially incorporated until about a week later. That's right. The fun, quirky, artistic side project is literally older than the massive corporation it represents. How crazy is that? So that simple little stick figure was just the beginning. From that quirky out-of-office sign, Doodles started on this incredible journey of innovation, and the evolution was just breathtaking. In 2000, we got the first animated one for Halloween. Then, 10 years later, they blew everyone's minds with the first fully interactive game, a playable Pac-Man for its 30th anniversary. It supposedly cost the world millions in lost productivity, which is amazing. From there, they just kept pushing. They jumped into VR and 360-degree video in 2018, and then in 2019, they started using AI, letting you compose music with Bach. So they went from a stick figure to a collaborative AI composer in about 20 years. Obviously, these have become huge productions. So you gotta wonder, how does an idea go from just a concept to a full-blown interactive experience that's seen by billions of people? It's a surprisingly well-oiled six-step machine. It always starts with an idea, and they get thousands of suggestions from the public and from inside Google. Then a team gets put together, artists, engineers, sometimes guest artists, and they do a really deep dive to make sure everything's authentic. After that, it's all about creativity, sketching, brainstorming, and exploring. That leads to a ton of building and testing and refining, until finally it's ready to go live, often targeted to specific parts of the world. And the people who make them, they've got maybe the best job title in the world. They're called doodlers. This core team of artists and engineers works all the time with guest artists from all over the globe, making sure that local stories are told by people who know them best. This whole global, collaborative way of doing things has just led to this incredible explosion of creativity. And when you step back and look at the sheer scope of what doodles have covered over the years, it's honestly mind-boggling. How mind-boggling? Well, the team has created more than 5,000 doodles. For over a quarter of a century, they've been building this massive, incredible library of art and history and culture one day at a time. And what are those 5,000 doodles about? Basically everything. You've got holidays, of course, but also deep dives into arts and culture, breakthroughs in science and technology, tributes to historical figures, and celebrations of the natural world. It's like opening up a new mini encyclopedia entry every single day. And Doodles can have a real-world impact too. They can take that huge platform they have and shine a spotlight on really important things like environmental conservation. Remember that axolotl from our riddle? Well, the Doodles celebrating Lake Xochimilco in Mexico wasn't just about a cute animal. No, it was telling a story. It was highlighting that this is the last native habitat for the axolotl and that local people are working their tails off to restore it, to save a creature that's a core part of their culture. And beyond things like conservation, they act as this global classroom for rich cultural traditions that a lot of us might not know much about. The Day of the Dead Doodle, for example, did a beautiful job of explaining that this isn't some kind of spooky party. It's a tradition that goes back more than 3,000 years, with deep indigenous roots. It's a really intimate and invaluable time for families to remember and reconnect with their loved ones who've passed on. So when you put all of this together, the quirky history, the incredible tech, the global reach, the deep cultural meaning, it really forces you to kind of reframe what a doodle even is. Is it just a logo, or has it become something way, way more? I think it comes down to two ways of looking at it. On one side, sure, you could say it's just a logo, a temporary change to a brand. But on the other side, you can see it for what it's truly become, a global art project. It's a daily conversation about culture, history, and science, happening on the biggest stage in the world. I definitely know which side I'm on. And here is maybe the best part of all. This conversation is one you can actually join. The Doodle team is always on the lookout for new ideas. They get thousands of them from the public every single year, and yet they actually review them. Which brings me to one last question for you. If you had the chance to pitch a doodle, one that would be seen by billions of people for just one day, what story would you tell? What person, what invention, what piece of culture do you think the whole world really needs to know more about? Really think about it.